Welcome back to Cultistorm. Big truck, tiny table. I'm kind of excited to get started with the playthrough. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've stuck with it this long. I can't imagine how terrible it is. I've gone back through some of the video, but, well, freshman effort. So, let's take a look at what we've got going on. Alright. So we've got the board all set up. We do have some special rules to look at. First, the investigators win if all 5 locations are sealed and there are no great old ones in play. No idea how to do any of that? We'll figure it out. And a whole bunch of lost conditions. The game is lost if any of these happen. An investigator goes insane. What good Cthulhu Mythos game can't be good without insanity, right? We lose if a grade 1 reaches a location card. So basically what's going to happen is, as we go through, in a location, we have cultists, and there will be additional cultists that stack up here, and a Gradle 1 may come out. And he'll move in, devouring cultists, and if the Gradle 1 ever reaches the location itself, we lose. We lose if the number of cultists exceeds the cultist threshold. For a 2-player game, if at any time there are 13 cultists in play, not including devoured cultists, we lose. Lose if the investigators do not manage to seal all the locations before they defeat every Gradle 1 after the activation of the Final Act card. So you remember, we're going to be going through these terror cards, and eventually the Final Act card will be revealed. If that is revealed, or has been revealed, and we don't defeat all of the great old ones before we don't manage to seal all the locations before we defeat any great old ones that are in play, then we lose. Hopefully that'll make sense later. I don't know. We'll see. Now, we are playing 2 players, so there is a variant. In the setup phase, all investigators count as ranged for purposes of fighting. So we already had Jack, who was a ranged character, and Dr. Bob, who was melee, but we're going to consider him ranged as well. Next, in every cultist phase, the game happens over a series of phases: the cultist phase, terror phase, preparation phase, investigator phase, combat phase, and location sealing phase. During the cultist phase, new cultists enter the game, and part of that mechanic is moving the cultist marker in every place that it goes into gains new cultists. In a normal 3 to 5 player game, that cultist marker moves 2, and we get 2 new cultists per turn. But in our 2-player game, they're going to move 3 spots, giving us 3 new cultists. Balancing that, instead of having a hand limit of 4 cards, we will have a hand limit of 5. In a normal game, there's 1 die in the dice pool per investigator. In a 2-player game, we get extra, giving us 3 instead of 2. But then sealing a location is a little harder. We need 3 trophies instead of 2. Alright, so those are the differences for a 2-player game. Now, we start with the cultist phase, where new cultists enter the game. Every round starts with moving the Gradle ones, if any. We don't have any yet. Move the cultist marker clockwise along the locations as many times as there are players. But we're playing 2-player, so instead of moving it 1 2 times. Move it a third time. For each location it enters, draw a cultist and place it on a location face up. The card should be placed on the topmost space of this location. So it entered over here, was its first move, and we get a Cultists of Eternal Toth. It entered here, and we get Cultists of Mother Hydra. And it ended up here, where we get another Cultist of Eternal Toth. Youth. That's a Y. A Y. Alright. So there's our 3 new cultists. If a 4th cultist is placed in any location, it causes a summoning, and then we get to bring out a Great Old One that matches the Great Old One symbol on the most recently placed cultist. Deal with that later. Don't have to worry about it. Cultists can't appear in locations that have a Great Old One, but we don't have any. If a location is sealed, no Great Old One can be summoned. No locations are sealed. Alright. So that's taken care of. Next, so that was the cultist phase. Great Ones move. Many new cultists enter games that are investigators by moving the investigator token. Now, one thing to point out, I do believe this player aid was put together before the final rules. So there are things that aren't quite right on here. So it doesn't mention moving the Cultistorm, basically. It does say roll the cultist dice. That was here. Roll the cultist die for each location and place it on that location card. So I think we just do it for the locations he was in. That one. That one. That one. So we ended up with a shield, tentacles, and nothing. So that's good. Phase 2, the terror phase. Move the terror marker. It is friendly fire. 1 space clockwise to the next location. And place a terror crystal on the card. Good enough. I'm just going to put it there on the board for that particular location, just to make it easier to reach. Now, the preparation phase. Each player draws normally 4 cards. So we'll go ahead and draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Due to the 2-player rule. I don't know what any of these cards are going to do, but take a quick look at them. Heal to Insanity. Take Investigator die. Gain an extra trophy. Exchange trophies. Or gain a symbol for combat. So those will be Jack's hand. And for Dr. Bob. You know, for the guys who do this filming and have been doing it for forever with the camera stuck in between their arms, looking at you, Doug, yeah, looking at a bunch of people. Desperado, all you guys, power to you. This is inconvenient. Mike, all the guys over at One Stop, good on you. All right. So Dr. Bob gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he gain the symbol for combat. Double a card symbol. Give a trophy, may be used in combat. Take an investigator item supply. And use location. Use location. I haven't even mentioned that. So each location card has a special ability. These are not available by default. You have to unlock a location. And once that location is unlocked, then that power becomes available anytime you're there. That card, use location, lets you get around it for one turn only. So even if the location is not unlocked, using that card, you can go ahead and use that power. I'm just looking. I may have... all those cards have XP on them. I don't know if I'm supposed to have them or not. We're going to leave it alone. Alright. So, move all these dice out of the way. We get 3 investigator die. 1 for each investigator, but we are playing a 2-player game, so special rules say we take 3 instead of 2. We roll them. In the middle of the first. Alright. So now we're in the investigator phase. We have a bunch of actions that can be done during this phase. We can choose an investigator die. We can move. We can use a location ability. We can search, finding more items. We can freely trade items between characters in the same location. We can gain forbidden knowledge. Those are the special powers that are on the character boards. There are some pretty significant costs associated with gaining those powers. The more powers you get, the more insane you get. It costs sanity to achieve your next power. We can choose targets. So, going into combat, you can choose who you're going to attack in the upcoming combat by placing your target token on them. A cultist or a Gradle one in a location can be targeted by more than one character. So we have both a green and a red marker on them in our case here. The last action available during our investigator phase is to pass our turn. There is one other action we can take outside of the investigator phase, and that's placing a trophy on a location. We'll see how that works when we come to it, but that's part of unlocking it, I believe. Quick note regarding insanity. Each investigator has a hand of 4, in our case 5, action cards, can carry up to 2 items, and can suffer up to 4 insanity before they go insane by gaining the 5th. If any character goes insane, we lose the game. Is that right? Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Permanent insanity. Every investigator can have permanent insanity. This cannot be healed or removed by usual means, just with special investigator card effects or abilities. If you already have a permanent insanity and are about to gain another one, move the terror marker instead. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into each action. We're just going to play and figure out the actions as we go. Jack is over there where the cultists of Mother Hydra are. To fight them would take an eye, a shield, and a star. Does he have a way to generate those? Symbols are provided by character abilities, investigator cards in hand, support investigator cards created by other investigators, items, location actions, and the investigator die. So, if Jack wanted to fight the cultists, I think the big symbol in the middle, is that what it's given us? Yeah. Okay. So he would need... Well, there's a star. There's an eye. He doesn't have a shield. There is a shield in the pool, though. Shield in the pool. I have a star and an eye. So he could fight and win. Maybe we'll do that just to see how it works. So his first action, he is going to take a die. From the pool. So now he has a shield. What would Dr. Bob like to do? He's got two cultists over here. Can he do anything about either of them? Two stars, two shields, and an eye. 2 stars and an eye will take care of one of them. You can't do the other one. I wonder if that has to do with ranged or not. Let's take a look. I believe it does. Melee and ranged. Ranged fighters can attack any cultist on their location. Melee fighters can only attack the cultist at the bottom, in this case, there, of their location. So good. Dr. Bob actually can go after the cultists of Eternal Youth. So I think he is going to do that. He doesn't need to take an eye out of the pool, but he will target them. Okay. Nobody needs any support. Don't need to search, play investigator cards, don't need to gain forbidden knowledge, choosing targets. When you perform this action, place a target marker on a cultist you want to fight on your location during the following combat phase. Sometimes investigators are so powerful, we're not, that they should choose to fight 2 cultists instead of 1. Remember to use the second target marker. Choosing a target is not mandatory. 1 cultist can be targeted by multiple investigators. During combat, the investigators decide in which order they want to fight the cultists, but their combat symbols are not added up. I think that's all the actions we'll take this turn. So now we enter the combat phase. Phase happen in order, starting from the shield location. So shield, no combat. Oh no, there will be combat there. Jack is going to go into combat. So he gets the first one. So During a fight, cultists and great ones are protected by occult symbols. These occult symbols must be matched by the investigators in order to defeat the cultists and the great ones. Investigators spend their symbols to match their target's symbols. Every card in effect providing a symbol can be used only once during the combat phase. Every cultist, I'm looking at the middle box, can have 3, 4, or 5 symbols in a fight. Each cultist has 3 symbols on it by default. In this case, we're looking at the eye, the shield, and the star. Additional symbols can be provided by the cultist die and or the location. The cultist die there is an eye. Ooh, didn't think about that. Or the location. The cultist gains one additional symbol for each of these effects. If the cultist die is not blank, it isn't, it's an eye. And the cultist location symbol matches that of the cultist's sect symbol. So in this case, the sect symbol is the star. The location is the shield, so he does not get that bonus. He did get that eye bonus, though. That may be a problem. It may not have accounted for that. So we have an eye, a star, and with the die we get shield. The symbols on the card. And then I do have one more eye card that will take care of the symbol for the die. So yes. So Jack will play all of those. And once an investigator has spent enough symbols to defeat an enemy in a fight, they receive a trophy matching the cultist's sect symbol from the supply. So the sect symbol was a star in this one's case. So he takes a trophy, and Jack will put that. This is interesting. I don't know if it's mechanically important in any way, but there are trophy notches. Boom. I don't know the significance of that yet. We'll see. If there is any. Alright, so we discard the investigator cards used. And if Dr. Bob had helped us with a card, we would return that card to Dr. Bob. Take the investigator die, return it. Hey, another shield. So that was a fight. Now we move on to the next location. Dr. Bob gets to fight. We're fighting this one. Good, it's a shield. We did do planet one. Now I get to see if we plan this one out right. Yeah, we'll be fine. Alright. So, we're looking at the Cultists of Eternal Youth. They have an eye, 2 stars, and their sect symbol is a shield. The location symbol is a planet. So don't have to worry about that. The die is a shield. So we need an eye, 2 stars, and for the location die, we need a shield. So we won that one. I'm just looking at the text on the card to see if there's anything we can do. Oh, no. We don't use any of those. This cultist was defeated. I'll put him away in a minute. I don't know what the target targeting was supposed to help with. And then his sector symbol is a shield. So Dr. Bob, a shield trophy. Trying to see what that target token actually does. I actually don't see in the rule book any mention of how it's used. Yeah, I don't know if that had any actual special purpose at all. So that was the combat phase. Now we can go into the location sealing phase. To win the game, the investigators need to seal all the locations in play. Sealing a location has conditions. The investigators need to collect as many trophies as there are players. We have 2. But for the 2-player variant, sealing a location requires 3 trophies. The trophies must be placed at the location. The trophies placed must have the same symbol as the location. And the investigators need to have the gate seal corresponding to the location. This can be acquired by gaining forbidden knowledge. So we cannot seal any locations. Not a surprise. First turn of the game. But that's it. That is the first turn of the game. And I think we'll end the video there for now. And we'll see if I come back. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to continue with this. I'm going to take a little break, think about it, go over the rules one more time. And otherwise, thanks for joining me on Big Truck Tiny Table. A little less tiny today. For a look at Cultistorm. I think it's a neat game. It might be a little big for the time I have left this weekend. So if I get put back, maybe we'll come back to it. Maybe I'll play a little more tonight. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm glad to have finally gotten something done. First time, I hope it's not too bad. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I'm kind of having fun. I'm a little stressed, but I can see that this can become fun. So we'll see what happens. And that's Cultistorm. Big Truck Tiny Table. I'm Doc. Keep the rubber side down.